Yes, that picture is a thumbnail picture of me from 25 years ago, before I became a teacher. At the time, I was running my national business. We had won the WA Local Chamber Small Business Award for 2003, and the business that I franchised and then sold. The reason I've used a younger picture of me for this episode's thumbnail, I want to talk about 5 things I've done myself and watched other parents do that actually make financial literacy harder for your children. I've had the privilege to get to know hundreds, if not thousands, of parents over my career teaching. The mistakes I've both made and seen came not because parents don't care. We all care about our children and their future. They happen because our habits are invisible until they're exposed, inherited from our parents, or we were simply never told. You are about to be told. But seriously, the window for you to avoid passing them on, to change them, is when children are forming their financial identity in childhood. And from my experience, childhood goes quickly. With all the busyness of daily life, it's easy to overlook what is important because of what is urgent. In Stephen Covey's book, The 7 Habits of Highly Effective People, he goes into this in more detail, but from a business perspective. It applies just as well to parenting. The important things that make the difference to your children in 2 or 3 decades can be overlooked when you're stressed trying to make ends meet or just get them to school and football practice on time. So here are our 5 mistakes. Each one is fixable. Let's go. The first mistake is using money as a reward or a punishment. This is going to be controversial for a lot of you, so please hear me out before you judge. Mistake number 1 is using money as a reward or withholding it as a punishment. This is the single most common mistake that we as parents make, and it's the one that causes the most confusion later in life. Once rooted in the foundations, it's also the single most difficult thing to change, despite all the benefits in adulthood that I'll describe to you. When money is tied to behavior, children learn that money is an approval instrument, not a tool for managing real life. The child who earns pocket money by being good or for doing chores and loses it by being difficult or not doing chores grows up with a complicated, emotionally tangled up relationship with money. Money becomes something you earn by being worthy. That needs to change to something you manage by being skilled. See the shift in mindset? We as parents are often stuck in the earn by being worthy camp ourselves. Work harder, work longer. That's how you make more money. Hey, that's only partly true. It was drilled into us as kids, though. It's approval recognition. It hooks parent approval and, more deeply later in life, links authorities' approval and money together. Only through the conscious application of learned skills can we change this. Knowing how hard it is for us to break out of this conditioning, because that is what it is, conditioning, wouldn't it be better for our kids not to have to in the first place? The fix to avoid therapy. Jokes aside, it's not complicated, but it does start with us. Separate pocket money from behavior completely. Pocket money is a financial education instrument. It arrives on a schedule just because it does. It gets split into 3 jars: spend, save, give. And it has nothing to do with whether anyone was helpful this week. As a parent, it is a hard habit to break if you have that earn it or lose it mental paradigm. But behavior earns something else: trust, privileges, occasions, time. Money, however, earns skills around it. Look at the wealthy living on earnings from investments, not trading their time for money. The money arrives on a schedule just because it does. You are teaching your child to value what money can become, and that's a lot more than just a number in the bank. Knowing what to do with it is the picture we paint for them. Because money is a tool for managing real life, not an approval instrument. The second mistake, it's when you treat money as a topic that children shouldn't hear. This is often an automatic and good intentioned version of protective parenting. It's common, where financial conversations are kept away from the children altogether. Bills, they're paid quietly. Stresses are hidden. The message to the child, not on purpose, is money is for grown-ups because you don't need to know. Because, and this is your child's translation of the experience, it's probably frightening until you're old enough. Oh, I'm not ready. The research on this, however, is consistent and it has powerful repercussions. Children who overhear regular, honest, calm money conversations at home, for instance, let's go with the cheaper option because we're saving for something more important. With these conversations at home, these kids develop better mental financial frameworks and lower anxiety about money than children who just had formal financial education at school. Research has proven this. Dinner conversation is more important in creating mindset than academics. Supporting the development of empowered kids with the skills to thrive in tomorrow, it's about mindset, self-confidence, and resilience. The fix. The fix is just normalize money. This isn't about dumping your financial stresses on your children. That's a different problem and another mindset issue to have. It's solvable, but you need a plan. And that's a topic for another video. It's about you. You need to include them in everyday language, even if they're just overhearing money discussions and decisions. We're choosing this because it's better value. And this is what we've saved for. Let's celebrate. Oh, here's what I wish I understood at your age. Make it normal. Keep it calm. Keep it positive because it's all just matter of fact. We are in control of money. It is not in control of us. So stay away from that unintentional message that money is adult territory because it's probably scary. Mistake 3, and this is the one that parents find the hardest to hear. It's rescuing children from the consequences of their financial decisions. When your child spends their entire pocket money on the first day and has nothing left for the thing that they want on day 3, do you loan them more? Most parents do. And I get it. It's uncomfortable to watch, and it feels like the kind thing to do. But the consequence is the lesson. The empty jar is not a crisis. It is the precise moment of learning that cannot be replicated on a worksheet, in a lecture, or from any amount of advice. The fix is to stay emotionally close, stay curious, but not rescue. Ask, how does it feel to have nothing left? Not self-righteously, how does it feel to have nothing left? But be honestly interested and say, what would you do differently next time? You're not being unkind by letting the consequence stand. You're being the parent who gives them a safe environment to make the mistake at 7, not at 27. So the empty jar is not a crisis. It is the lesson. Mistake 4, teaching saving without teaching why. What do I mean by this? Teaching children to save without teaching them what they're saving for. You should save some of your money. It's the most common financial instruction that parents give. It's also the least effective on its own because it asks a child to delay gratification for an undefined future. And delayed gratification without purpose, it's not a skill, it's just deprivation. And it teaches the accumulation of money just for the sake of having more money. This is the biggest criticism that poor people have of people with wealth. They are not aware of what the money could do. Money, it's not a number. It is a tool and it has a function. Elon Musk's becoming a trillionaire has fired up this rhetoric. Why doesn't he solve world hunger? They don't realize he's putting that money to work for the benefit of all mankind. The decisions around what will benefit mankind are debatable, but he isn't accumulating money for the sake of having more money. What creates the saving habit is not telling children to save. It's a goal, a specific, visible, trackable goal. A child saving for a particular thing, watching the jar fill towards something they really want, is learning that money is a vehicle for getting what you actually care about. That is the lesson. That becomes a foundation. The fix for just teaching you need to save, start with a question first. Every time the pocket money is discussed, start with, what are you saving for? Not as a nag, as a genuine inquiry. And when they name the goal, help them track it. A piece of paper on the fridge with a drawing or a printed picture of the thing and a simple progress bar does more than most financial education programs ever will. On the Financial Adventure Club platform, there are downloadable savings thermometers for just this purpose. There's even a progress bar built into the goal sheet within the platform itself. Remember, delayed gratification without purpose is not a skill. It's just deprivation and teaches the wrong thing. We have money for what it can do, not just to get more. Mistake 5, and perhaps the one that has the greatest consequences of all. Waiting until your child is old enough to start having financial conversations. The most common version of this is, I'll explain money properly when they're in high school. Well, by then, the financial identity is largely formed. The attitudes, reflexes, emotional relationship with spending and saving, those are set in childhood and are difficult to change in secondary school. Research consistently places the critical window between ages 5 and 12. The neural pathways around habit and identity formation are most plastic at precisely the ages that most parents assume that they are too young for real financial education. A 9-year-old managing a 3-jar system and saving towards a visible goal is doing more meaningful financial education than a 15-year-old doing a module on compound interest formulas. The fix for this one, waiting until they're older, is obvious. And it is to start today, not with a lecture, with a jar and a question. What are you saving for? That is the whole first step. That and joining the club, of course. The Financial Adventure Club. These 5, rescuing, taboo, reward versus punishment, saving without a goal, and waiting until they're old enough, have emotional impacts on your children's mindset. They create a paradigm of money as an approval mechanism, dependence on others, lack and limitation, and finally, exclusivity, as in, it's something for others to understand, not me. Which one do you most recognize from your own childhood? Maybe you got all of them, like I did. Hey, it's not uncommon. Which one do you most want to do differently for your kids? Join the conversation and share with us below. And if you're really keen, we would love to see you in the Facebook community. The link is in the description below. If you made it this far in the video, I consider you a Financial Adventure Club friend. If you got value for your time and you aren't subscribed yet, hit like, subscribe, and click the bell for notifications. Share with anyone you feel would also benefit, friends and family. And I'll see you in the next video, Tuesday and Thursday, every week. See you there.